Yeah,
Wi-Fi looking all right? Yeah, we're good. How you doing,
we
man?
should be good. So yeah,
Chilling, looking good.
just want to put this in here. So to get started, the good thing about this too is it's archived, so we can record everything and play it back, and it'll stay on here for a while. But
Yeah, exactly.
um,
So we'll have it saved up.
just to get yeah, but just to get started, what's up with you? Just go over the basic stuff. How are you doing during this time with everything going on?
I mean, I guess I've been as good as everybody else has, right? Just trying to
Yeah.
stay safe, not doing too much, just kicking it, kind of being on my
Mhm.
own, doing whatever I feel like working on. I mean, for us, obviously, school the term's like just starting now, so now with classes and everything, it's like starting to build up, but pretty. I mean, I can't complain despite not being able to leave my house really, but it is how it is.
Yeah.
So I'm cooling. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm good. It's making the most of it, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm finding opportunities for different things, whether it be myself or for the brand, for different things we can do. But it's a good segue into what you're finding opportunities for during this time. Like, are you finding any creative ways for music or for different things, or like picking up different skills? If you want to touch on that.
Yeah, so I mean like obviously it's not the way I look at like myself as an artist and in the music industry now is different. So I mean obviously I see myself as more of like a behind the scenes kind of guy now. So even though I'm not like doing much creatively, whether it's like songwriting or things like that, I'm educating myself, learning kind of more of the ins and outs of the industry just because that's something that's been interesting. And I mean, I have all this time on my hands, so I might as well use it to my
Mm,
advantage. You know what I mean? It's just like what you're doing with the brand. Like
mm,
it's a blessing in disguise, even though everything's so hectic right now, because you can do things that wouldn't necessarily get as much traction if the world was normal, that
yeah.
now because things are happening, it's much easier, you know what I mean? And it's actually
Mhm.
much more beneficial.
Yeah, I want to really dive into that though. What's the pivot you made? Because it's like you said during this time as well, you can gain traction with a lot of things, and one of the things can be altering the direction in which you did things, or like readjusting to what you did before. So with yourself, like talking about change, what was the redirection with your career, and why did you decide to go down this different path of being behind the scenes more so?
Yeah, totally. So that's a good question, actually. So, I don't know. I guess kind of sitting back and looking at it from like a broad perspective, I kind of felt like you said, I just feel like I fit in more behind the scenes, like making, pulling the strings, making things happen per se. And
Mm,
still, I still want to be involved. Like, obviously, that's still the industry I want to be in. But at the same time, I kind of wanted to take that step back and evaluate what I was doing and whether like the investments in it are worth it and like
mm,
mentally like how I feel about it. Is it aging? Is it getting dull? And so it's not
mm,
necessarily like I'm totally pushing things to the side either. Like obviously the window's still open. Like you're an artist, like you have art that you've created that's not released. Like if an opportunity presents itself, you throw it out there, you know what I mean? So it's not like I never close doors. I never want to burn bridges, even if it's just like
yeah.
the way I steer my own path. But I think that at least right now, like this is what I'm more interested in. So I figured whatever I feel like I want to be fully invested in, that's what I'm gonna roll with.
Yeah, and I think I just realized too, it's so great that you had such a long runway of being an artist, because if you were to be that behind the scenes person for other artists, you know the ins and outs really well.
Yeah,
So things moving
exactly.
out great.
I definitely want to take it with a grain of salt. Like no matter I feel like no matter who I'm working with or what I'm doing in the industry, I definitely have a leg up because I know I've been there, like I've experienced that kind of stuff and I'm gonna be able to have at least I feel like I'd be able to have a much better impact than someone with less experience. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. So what was I want to get more of like the hello, Nadia, but I want to get more into detail about like what went through your head. Like, how are you feeling when adjusting? Because I know for many people, right, it's really tough to actually make a change. So
Yeah.
what was going through your head when you did that? Were you getting any like sort of judgment on the outside? How'd you deal with that?
I mean, not really. It's kind of just like it wasn't like a sudden switch, you know what I mean? Like it's not like I woke up one day and I was like totally changed everything. So it kind of like happened over time. It's not something where I kind of was just like, all right, this is it, like I'm done. I
Yeah.
mean, also that's like what I said before. I was like, along those lines, I'm not like closing any doors or like burning any bridges. So if I'm like, I could potentially end up steering back, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, it really just, it honestly, I mean, I know what you said, like, for some people, it's hard to really switch up and do things like that and
Mhm.
totally have like a life change, but it's been, I've been kind of like rolling with it day by day, like finding new things, piecing it together what I want to do because I mean honestly, I still don't know like I know the industry I want to be in, but I don't know what I want to do within that industry. So it's not
Mhm.
even like I'm on like that new path yet, like what I said earlier. Like I'm still kind of
Mhm.
switching lanes and going through and finding exactly what I want to do. But I think that's nice to keep my mind open and have a ton of shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm really kind of
Yeah.
focusing on a lot of different things and forming my path still.
Mm. And it's good that you could take that step back because it's okay to be in that position, especially with like the young age in which we're at. I know February was your birthday, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
21
just
finally.
yeah, 21 finally. Yeah, exactly. And it's okay to be in that position. I think now, like, what would you say are like next steps, sort of like principles laid out, what you want to do, whether it be like trying a bunch of different things. So if you had to be in this position, 21, right?
Yeah.
And you were to ask yourself a couple of years ago, like, what the steps to take in order to make this change successful, what would you say?
I guess looking back, I mean, I'm totally in a different position now than what I thought I would have been in like from a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that my main goal is just to have more experience under my belt in the industry I want to be in, which I totally think I have since then. And I mean, I think now I've learned things I didn't think I really would have been interested in. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
in parts of the industry that I wouldn't have expected myself to be in. And I mean, going around from here, I still want to just pretty much do the same thing, gain more experience, gain more knowledge of the industry as a whole, and then kind of like pinpoint from there once we're done.
Yeah. So you mean like geographically, like where you want to end up, or like as like what you want to end up accomplishing? Is it
Um,
like either or, or both, or
I think, yeah, I think they kind of go hand in hand. I'm not like, I've never been a guy
yeah.
wherever I end up, that's where I end up. So if I'm in LA, if I'm in Florida, that doesn't really matter to me. I mean, as long as I'm happy and like, I mean, in the music industry doing what I love, then
Mm.
I'm cool. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm totally happy with that.
Yeah. Happiness is the goal.
Yeah, exactly. Location's never been a big thing for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been to LA?
I was born in San Francisco. I've never been to LA though.
What? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I
Dang.
mean I moved when I was like 1.5, so I couldn't even remember if I
Huh.
tried, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool backstory.
Yeah. So you were born in San Francisco. Obviously, you wouldn't remember. So you went back to. Did you ever go back to LA?
I went back when I was on the tour with Chrisette Michelle in 2018, I want to say. I went
Uh-huh.
one of the shows was in San Francisco, so I got to kind of go. It was cool. I got to go back, and my parents showed me all the stuff I never seen, like where I grew up, and so well,
Wow.
grew up, but it was cool to be able to go there and finally experience it because all I did was hear about it. So it was nice.
Mhm.
I mean, total culture shock from New York too,
Dude,
to say the
I,
least.
dude, no, seriously though. I think I've never been to San Fran, but LA is just it's just a different place,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not just different because it's different. It's like when you go there, you feel it. I don't know
No,
how to
exactly.
describe it, you know?
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Takes the experience to feel it.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's a great way to look at it too. You'll be bouncing around different cities, but that all depends on like who you end up working for, what you end up doing. Do you want to? I want to say, do you want to end up working for someone, or would you rather just build your own thing, like a management company or whatever you end up doing? I don't even know if that's going to be the route.
So I think it depends on the position that I find myself in because I've had
Mhm.
experience with artist management or music publishing, and in those cases, you're kind of like working for people, like helping push their art. But at the same time, I added a legal studies minor. Like I want to do what's that, like MA? I want to potentially pursue entertainment law or something like that.
Okay.
So, and I mean, in a case like that, you have clients, but you're the boss. So I don't really have a preference.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
always feel like how people in my career like help me push my art and help me grow. If I could do that for someone, it's totally a plus.
Mm.
But at the same time, if I'm the one working, it's like, you know what I mean? I'm totally fine with that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I realize too how intersected it is in a way. Like one of the things we do is just helping people accomplish those dreams. You want to be in a similar position for other artists.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like obviously you guys are kind of doing the same thing here. Like your company, you're totally like helping people, whatever they're doing, trying to push it and
Mm.
show it's a good thing that what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And we didn't answer this question.
yeah.
Salted or unsalted pasta water?
Huh?
It's it. No, funny question here. I know
Oh
it was
yeah, that's
probably
my guy.
jokingly.
No, I
Oh,
mean
okay.
he lives with me, so he knows. Always salted.
Always salted. Always. Yeah. So what I know a lot of people right now, I have a couple people close to me, they're really getting into making music during this time because I
Yeah.
know like Logic's free and
Yeah,
obviously you
exactly.
have
You
this
have all these
downtime to
platforms.
pick up stuff.
All you need is a computer.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's wild.
Yeah,
Like,
but no excuses now. You have to be doing something.
no, exactly. Especially when you got all this time on your hands. So I mean, I even found
Yeah,
myself going back and doing stuff like whether I'm just like kind of messing around on Logic or Ableton playing. I still got keyboards laying around, so it's not like I'm totally fading away from anything. But I mean, you got so much time. You could be creative in any way that you want. And I mean, I'm not surprised to see that there's more people making music. That's not a shock to me at all. Whether it's just to
yeah.
kill time or just have fun, it's something you're kind of passionate about but never really got into.
Yeah, because I remember last time we talked when we had the podcast, you said you
Yeah.
got into music through writing, and then you had other idols, right? So it can
Yeah,
be that
that's the
way
kind
for
of
other
like
people.
built up from that. So exactly. And I mean, some people figure it out later on. But I'm lucky I figured that out when I was so young because that helped me build a platform and like figure
Yeah,
out where I wanted to be now. Now I'm still like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine where I would have been without doing all that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The so I was gonna ask you. Do you know the guys at Rec Philly in Philadelphia?
I
Like, do you know what? Do you know the? Yeah.
I know what they do. My cousin's actually worked with them a little bit. He's done a few things in and out of there, but not personally. I don't know
Mhm.
anybody there.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you, where do you see the music industry going? Since you're gonna be more of the behind the scenes, like what stuff do you see emerging or stuff related to that? Because I don't really have any idea, but I remember talking to Dave and Will, and they said how these artists are going to be more entrepreneurs and more of like their own businesses, like Jay Z said. And
Oh yeah, completely.
Will and I talked about this. He was like the quote of, I'm not a businessman, I'm a
Yeah,
businessman.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
yeah,
No, I mean, obviously after this whole coronavirus thing ends, there's going to be a total overhaul, and there's going to be so many live shows, there's going to be so many events, and people are going to go to concerts and they don't even know who's performing just because they want to get out and have that experience that they've been deprived of for, I mean,
mm,
let's say 4 months just to be positive about it. But
yeah,
I think I couldn't agree with that more. I've always been a person who, when I look at artists, you see the most successful ones are the ones who not worry about their music last because obviously like content is key, but they're the Drakes or the P Diddy's or the Dr. Dre's who they make money for doing all this other stuff. You want to have as many revenue streams
mm,
as possible, whether it's merch deals, branding. Like I mean, Dr. Dre, what he sold beats for $1.1 billion or some crazy
mm,
number. Like if you could build
yeah,
just
something around there.
even Michael Jordan, he's going to be a timeless brand because of the
Mm,
Jordan shoe. So if you could have revenue streams besides your artist contract or your athlete contract, making all
yeah,
this extra money, it's nothing but beneficial, and that's the best way to go because then when you have all these outlets, you have more connections, and no matter what you want to do music wise, you can do more. So from there, you can make your own music, you can host your own
mm,
shows that you wouldn't have been able to do before because you're working in so many different ways. So I think that's really where it's going to grow, and you're going to see artists tend to be completely individual. Like record labels will be less and less significant over the years.
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's really true. I was talking to someone the other day, and we were like, if Marshmello really wanted to, he could probably IPO. Like himself is
Yeah,
a bigger brand than most
and that's the
actual
case for a
businesses
lot of other
nowadays.
artists. Yeah, like a ton of artists probably could do that, honestly. So I mean,
Yeah.
hey,
So,
down the line, who knows?
yeah. I was gonna talking about Jordan. Did you watch the first two episodes last night
No,
with the?
I didn't get the chance to, but I want to. I really want to. I saw so many posts about it and ESPN Sports Center hyping it up. I gotta watch it.
Yeah. Did you record it?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, dude, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll probably run it back
They
before
have to. I mean,
next Sunday.
they got
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how timely it
sorry.
was too with what they came out with because it's been 20 years in the making.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's why I'm really interested to see it. Like it's so many different perspectives that really kind of form who he was on and off the course. So it's kind of I
Mm.
really like I'm excited to see everything about it. There's a lot of aspects that are going to make it, I guess, unique compared to the other like 30 for 30s, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it does go into like the different personalities of the team itself. It's not just Jordan. That's
Yeah,
spot on.
I'm
It
totally
shows how
sure.
much you know. Yeah, yeah. Um, is I want to because I know last time we talked as well. We went onto the surface of like people you look up to, but
Yeah.
who would you? I know you're in a different. You're going to be going a different direction now. Like, what individuals do you look up to or gain knowledge from during this time or during this transition?
Yeah. So I guess I really gotta say it's gotta be a lot of the same, like the artists I just named, the athletes I just named, just
Mm,
because of where I'm at currently. Like I said, like trying to figure out exactly what I want to do and where I want to fit into. Like they have all these other like branching out, making these branding deals, all these other ways of making money and spreading their name and gaining connections. And that's
mm,
kind of what really inspires me because I want to have a foot in everything while being a master of my industry. And I
mm,
think just as they did that, that's what I want to replicate. And I think that even if it's not the same industry or it's a totally different perspective on it, you can still take notes on what goes right, what goes wrong, when to do certain things, when not to.
mm.
And so, I
Yeah.
mean, those bit like even like talking about Jordan or Dr. Dre, I really feel like they're inspirational in ways that you can't take away from people who are really like set on one track. And don't get me wrong, that's not like obviously I wish I had like a set track like that would be so relieving and everything like that, but I also like the chase and I like getting to really
Mm.
learn and fully immerse myself in it.
Yeah. I know there's certain people who are really niche in what they do, and then there's certain ones that are just good at everything. With you, it's like you have this specific thing with your niche of the music industry, but you want to know a little bit of everything,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
which is
exactly.
cool. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's okay, because there's no right or wrong. Like people say, no, you got to know one thing, or people say you got to do a little bit of everything. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And it helps you
mm,
find your way. So, I mean, even though you're not there currently, it makes it easier in the long run.
yeah,
At least that's how
and
I feel about it.
yeah, exactly. And during, I guess, up to date, right? 21 years old. What
Yeah.
has been some of the bigger lessons in? You don't. I'm not just gonna give a broad question of life, but like your industry of like music itself, big lessons, because this can be for the archives. Anyone can
Yeah.
look back at
No,
this.
totally. I know what you mean.
You know.
Biggest lesson, careful what you invest in and make sure when you do invest in it,
Mhm.
you're 100% committed to it.
Explain. Get into detail about that. I like that.
So whether it's like I don't know, whether it's just a mental investment, like if you're gonna start doing something, if you're gonna put out a project, it's like, all right, I need to be all in, everything, all the funds I want to allocate to this project, everything that I want to do to make this sound the best it possibly can. And you got to be fully committed to doing it all the time, making sure that you finish it before you move on to something else. And
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, like building your brand up. If you want to find other connections, like I said, and whether it's like clothing deals or kind of like other sponsorships, you got to make sure that you're committed to going out and doing those, making the best relationship you can, and not only making that relationship, but once you have it, maintaining it and making sure that it's strong. And I mean, that really goes for everything. You got whether it's because I mean, you say investment and people think money, but like
Mm.
Whatever you decide to do in life is a mental investment and
Yeah,
physical.
that's
You got
spot
to be
on.
sure that every time, whenever you're not doing, like say I'm in schoolwork, but whenever I'm not doing school, I'm doing all this other stuff that's going towards the music industry. You know what I mean?
Mm. 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 Yeah, I want to. So going into more of the specific thing, you built a lot of relationships when you just had like your artist career. Like, what?
Yeah, definitely.
How did you go about building those relationships with those other artists, even when you went on tour the one time in 2018 or
Yeah.
17? Yeah.
So a lot of it, I don't want to say it's up to luck, but I mean, it definitely is because I mean, I started making music when I was 13, so I'm a little kid walking around trying to figure out what exactly I want to do. And I mean,
Yeah.
you meet people, it starts off in school. It's like, oh, you produce music? Like, cool, you should help me out sometime. And then it grows from there. They know somebody, the next person knows somebody, and then you end up meeting these big names. I mean, I just went to a random studio and then I ended up meeting the people I went on tour with. So I mean, that was
Mm.
luck, but at the
Wow.
same time, it kind of goes back to what I said. If you're in, like, if you want to be fully invested in something, you have to do it 100%. Once I was there at that studio, I'm maintaining my relationship with them. I'm talking to them. I'm always consistently catching up, doing everything I can to keep that going. And that's really what makes the people that you're connected with realize that you're worth their investment. And then they're the
Mm.
ones who are going to give back for what you're giving them.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So, I
That's
mean,
so spot on.
it's luck and it's work.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also like they see your talent, but then you gotta like cultivate some value and like actually show your worth, and then like
Yeah,
you said,
exactly. Exactly.
intertwining with the past question, they'll invest in you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The one there was gonna there was one thing on the tip of my tongue I wanted to ask. Um, Maybe we'll get back to it, but
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
yeah. What we were talking about something before relationships. Oh, career lessons. Oh, and putting
Yeah.
your time into that. Yeah.
Like
So
investing and everything.
what's another thing on top of thinking about your investment into something? Would you add to that?
So I guess like another career lesson from, I mean, personally from what I've been through, it kind of goes back to what I've been saying before. Don't limit yourself to one thing. Like
Mm,
if you're an artist or a songwriter, don't limit yourself. Be like, no, this is what I do. I'm not open to anything else because you could be happy with that one day, and then the second that hits the fan or it crumbles, you're gonna feel lost. But if you take time to delve slightly into other things and like if you're a songwriter, like if you only write lyrics, learn
mm,
how to produce, learn how to work on your own stuff because you might find that enjoyable in a way that's stress relieving, or you might find it enjoyable in a way that is a potential career opportunity. So definitely don't, you can never
I
spread
like
yourself too thin,
I
in
like
my
the
opinion.
mm, I like the way your perspective on that, because that applies so much with what we talked about before. Like if you get into something, you don't have to think about it like I'm gonna put my whole life into this, but you never know where it can lead you if you just dabble in it a little
Yeah,
bit. And
exactly.
they always say like yeah, they always say like mastery usually comes from a little fascination, and then over time it's
Hmm.
built by just continual persistent effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to have that fascination first. You never want to keep yourself from something.
Mm, yeah, exactly. The other thing I got it back now. The thought. Did you ever watch Justin Bieber's Seasons documentary? It's like a 10-part series.
No, I
I feel
haven't.
like you would enjoy that, bro.
I should. I'll check it out then. That and
Yeah,
the Jordan documentary. I gotta
yeah,
check.
exactly. So you gotta watch that, and then the Bieber one's on YouTube. But it's a great little layout of
Cool.
basically his whole life and like how he traversed the addiction and like the
Yeah.
fame and where he's at now. It's
No,
really
that's
good.
interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
What things what other things are you getting into, any movies now, or besides just skills like
Um,
fun stuff you're trying to do?
yeah, I mean I'm I gotta keep myself entertained at home. So whether I mean
Definitely.
I'm over here watching sports highlights all the time, like every other sports fan.
Mm.
We're all deprived. I'm getting hyped for the NFL draft coming up. I'm watching like shows with my family and stuff. I watch like Always Sunny or new funny
Yeah.
shows, watching like Step Brothers, all the old good Will Ferrell movies, just
Mm.
stuff to keep the positive vibes, keep
Yeah,
it going. I
yeah.
mean, because who knows how long this is going to drag on for. So I rather be happy, but at the same time, I mean, I'm still, like I said, I'm educating myself. I'm going way more in depth, reading my textbooks and stuff like that that I wouldn't have
Yeah.
necessarily done otherwise. But it's a mix of everything, and I mean, it's kind of whatever the day brings because I don't want it
Mm.
to be like the same stuff, different day. I want it to be different, and it's kind of whatever mood I'm in. I kind of let carry me now.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, the other thing was going to be, what are you looking forward to? Because I'm sure the summer is going to be a big opportunity for you with whether it be like, I don't know if you were gonna get a job of some sort or try to get like a
Yeah.
gig, but like what things are you looking forward to? Say this does subside in like a month.
hmm
What do you look forward to like in the months ahead when it
So
subsides?
I still have my co-op for the summer, which is, I mean, they already said like if stuff is still crazy, it'll be remote. So I mean, that's all I can really ask for. And I mean, obviously, I'm hoping for music to be back. I'm hoping for concerts to be back because there's just no live industry anymore. So that'll
Mm,
be really refreshing when it all does come back. And I mean, like I said, obviously, I'm looking forward to sports, but I mean, there's going to be, like I said earlier, when people are just going to be going to concerts and shows for just to get out because they finally can again. There's going to be opportunities that I'm going to have to jump on. If there's artists that I know and I can potentially help with connections like that, I'm going to try to do
mm,
things like that. And I mean, even if it's not the summer, even if it's later, those goals are all the same. Those things that I'm looking forward to are all the same, and it's just going to get postponed
mm.
like everything else in
Yeah,
the world is. So it's not like if it doesn't happen soon, I'm just going to be like, forget about this. I'm still gives me more time to plan almost, essentially.
yeah, yeah. That's exactly it. I think right now is the time, as we talked about before, like realignment and rejuvenation, but like a lot
Yeah.
of strategy and planning and prepping.
hmm
There's gonna be a whole lot of like action coming after this. It's gonna be crazy too. I think a lot of stuff is gonna be virtual, or there's gonna be like some type of AR VR type thing come out where you can be and watch a concert from your living room or just
Yeah,
stuff
I
that's
totally
remote. And
agree.
it's gonna be like basically you think like during this time everything's gonna be put on halt with innovation,
Uh-huh.
dude. After this, like stuff is gonna be exponential. It's crazy.
It's going to be exponential and it's going to be stuff we've never seen before. Even if it's not
Yeah,
immediately, it's definitely expediting the whole process of coming up with those new things.
yeah, exactly. Um, I think if there's any other, I don't know, questions people want to ask, is there anything else you wanted to, so Carlos,
What's up,
touch
Lewis?
on as well?
Um,
um, yeah,
nah, I mean, we really covered everything. I mean, I think everything we talked about kind of gives a sense of where I'm at, I guess literally and mentally
yeah,
regarding like
yeah,
everything I want to do in my career. So, nah, I mean, there's nothing else really on the top of my head at this point.
yeah. No, I do appreciate everything you said too, because it all is it's really insightful, and I probably will watch this back because there
Me
was a
too.
couple of things you said in there, and I'm hope people do because and like I said, this is gonna be archives and we'll post it everywhere so
Yeah,
people
exactly.
can watch it back. But there's some good stuff touched on, and I'm glad to see like you're in a good mental headspace, and the road ahead is gonna be bright, even though right now it's like we're at a halt. It's
No,
you're
exactly.
still
That's why I'm
planning,
trying
still
to
doing your thing. Yeah,
be as positive as I can right now because it's either I look at it like that or I look at it like I'm stuck in my house and I'm like, which one would I want to deal with on a day-to-day basis? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's you think it's like a physical illness going around right now and like a fight, but it's actually like an internal battle everyone's
Totally,
fighting
man.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure, bro. This is solid though. I appreciate having you on and
Yeah, I'm
talking. This
glad
was
we got to
great.
come back and chat more. It was awesome.
Yeah, we'll link up after this subsides too. I'll hit you
Yeah,
up and we'll talk.
definitely.
Yeah.
Of course, man.
All right. I'll see you.
All right.
Peace,
Yep. Talk
everyone.
soon, boy. Peace, everybody.
See you.
Thanks for
Be
tuning
safe.
in.